Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Midnight Mailman. I'm going to go over my tournament for the Great League. This was before Hydro Cannon Swampert and Charm was introduced. So those are a little bit of major changes, but not super impactful to the meta, but still important enough to be regarded in the future metas. Now, in this specific tournament, I decided to go with a little bit of an interesting Altaria team. Even though Altaria is ranked number 1 on PvPoke, it was mostly phased out for a really long time, for like 2 months or so. But I found that it was actually doing really well against the meta that I was facing in my lobby. So I decided to go ahead and bring an Altaria core with Defense Form Deoxys, Probopass, Venusaur, Azumaril, and Sableye. Now the reason I chose Altaria over, say, a Skarmory is first, Altaria has a really good matchup against Haunter, which was appearing pretty frequently in my tournaments. And also it does really well against Thunderbolt Defense Form Deoxys, which has been gaining a lot of traction in my lobby as well. So I figured it was a really good choice. Now my opponent, Garrett K, he's currently like 4th in my lobby, so he did really well in most of the tournaments. But his team is Venusaur, Defense Form Deoxys, Bastiodon, Medicham, and Azumaril and Skarmory. Now looking at his team, I noticed that Defense Form Deoxys is mostly unchecked against his team because I have Thunderbolt. The worst matchup it has is against Venusaur, which it narrowly loses the 2 shield and wins in the 1 and 0. And I also noticed that between Venusaur and Altaria, most of the rest of his team is taken care of, presuming, except for Skarmory, and presuming that Defense Form Deoxys is Thunderbolt and not Rock Slide. So I felt pretty confident with this. Looking back, I think leading Defense Form Deoxys was a mistake, considering how important it was against his team. But I have since learned that, and I use a different strategy in the future, mostly because of this match. So this was a really important match going in, but without further ado, let's get into this match. So he decides, or I lead that Defense Form Deoxys, he decides to lead Venusaur. So the worst possible case scenario did just happen for me. So I was like, this is kind of a bad spot. So I decided to go ahead and farm up a little bit more than necessary. And I decided to go ahead and shield this first move, expecting a Frenzy Point and it to do quite a bit of damage. And then this is also the old tap quickly, obviously. And so I'm trying to get a little bit of piggyback, do some extra damage. Do have enough for Psycho Boost, 2 Psycho Boosts. I knew that, so I tried to do a double, but he piggybacked me right back. So we're kind of back to square one, where we didn't really gain any energy on each other. Now, I used an under tapping, but looking back, I think I had charge move priority. So that was the only reason that I actually won that match, which was really interesting to think about, and I think that is one of the deciding factors of this game. He comes out with an Azumaril, and I was pretty sure that I could get to a Thunderbolt, and he was probably not going to try and fire off a charge move first, and I was correct. And he's going to try and farm me a little bit further down and make sure that I don't get off another charge move. He's pretty talented, so he was counting correctly. And then seeing that, I knew I had to come in with Venusaur. There was no doubt. I was expecting to get hit by a charge move, but he did a really good switch here to Bastiodon on the face. And this was a really bad position for me, because if he got a flamethrower off against my Venusaur, then I lose this match. So I decided right here to go ahead and switch to Altaria to try and not get hit by that flamethrower. And he ends up using Stone Edge, which does a massive amount to my Altaria. I think I thought I could feint him down with Dragon Breaths, but Stone Edge does way too much damage, so I really got lucky there for the most part. Oh, and there's a notification trying to get friends. And so the Play Rough Hydro Pump set is really popular in my lobby, so I was pretty safe in this, and ends up closing out this first match. So going into my next match, learning from my last round, I knew that how important Defense Form Deoxys was in this matchup, and I decided to keep it in the back with Venusaur. And between Defense Form Deoxys, it does defeat his entire team except for Venusaur yet again. So Venusaur really causing problems for my team, which I didn't realize I had a problem with Venusaur until now, honestly. But Altaria does take care of it really handedly, so I was really hoping to catch either a Defense Form Venusaur lead, or basically just something weak to Altaria. And I end up catching that Venusaur lead, so really convenient for me. I basically read him like a book and knew that his best chance, considering his poor Defense Form Deoxys matchup, he had to play that Venusaur, and then he did a good switch, avoiding that Sky attack, but I have an answer for Skarmory in the back, so I just switched straight away to my Defense Form Deoxys Thunderbolt to do a number on the Skarmory. So I pull out this Thunderbolt, not bothering to shield. There's a few reasons why I don't shield, just in case if he comes in and with like an Azumaril, that way he doesn't really have much space to farm me. Or not an Azumaril. Well, I don't know why I didn't shield. I did play shielding right here though. Maybe protecting Defense Form Deoxys a little bit more. But I also really wanted to have a shield in the back just in case, to protect one of my guys. You never know when you need an extra shield. So pulling out that Psycho Boost, knocking out the Skarmory. I used Psycho Boost because it was less energy. He's throwing out his own Defense Form Deoxys. I'm going to Thunderbolt that, get some good neutral damage. And I'm going to try and make one more Psycho Boost before I get KO'd. Like, last ditch effort to do some good damage. And unfortunately don't draw his last shield. That would have been really nice. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Altaria and not shield this, because I'm pretty sure it's not a Rock Slide. It's Psycho Boost. And at this point, I really think that he doesn't carry Rock Slide, and even if he does, I don't think that KOs at that range. Maybe I'm wrong. If it was a Rock Slide, I would have been in pretty bad shape, to be honest. But I still have Venusaur against his own Venusaur, and so using that Sky attack. And right here, I decide not to shield, so I can use my own Venusaur with the shield up to take him out with a Sludge Bomb and close out the first series. So really good matches, especially that first one coming down to the wire. This one was just good lead and a great team. So thank you so much, Garrett, for the matches, and I will see y'all all in the next video.